Hello, my gorgeous Taurus. How are you? Welcome to December. Depending on where you are, we are having, in the Southern Hemisphere, we're going into summer. But today it feels like we're already here. Now, I know people aren't any stranger to bushfires, floods, droughts, mudslides, earthquakes. But at the moment, we are having some absolutely terrible bushfires in Australia, all up the east coast. So spare a thought for the people going through those. We've also got serious drought in Australia, so I won't even go into what the farmers are having to go through. Anyway, I know that I just wanted to say that I know a lot of people expect readers to be upbeat and positive and all things good and shiny and new, which is good. I like that. I like happiness and joy and optimism and all of that stuff. I'm also very okay with facing the parts that aren't so shiny, that do require you to face difficulties in the eye and heartache and loss. I'll just tuck her back in there. Because that's how we grow. If we bury our heads in the sand and don't look at things the way they really are and just hope they'll go away, or as long as they don't, I love the people, as long as it doesn't affect me, then why should I care? Maybe because you're human. Anywho, I think it's important that we realise and get okay with things not being happy and bouncy all the time. That desire for happy, bouncy all the time has led to a lot of serious problems because people are constantly looking for something to give them that boost. And they're not getting it themselves. Anyway, sorry loves, rant over. Let's move on. Right, I've decided to go John Holland on us this December, so I'm using his Psychic Tarot, his Psychic Tarot for the Heart, and his Spirit Messages Oracle. So let's get into it. You've seen me shuffle. Now I'm just going to split and see what we've got. At the bottom of the deck, we've got discontent and boredom, 4 of Cups. Feels about right. Let's keep going, shall we? So, where's our current energy? What have we currently got? Ace of Cups. Lovely. New month, end of decade, brand new starts. That's where I'm sitting. Let's get into this brand new decade. And, I mean, look at that. It's even got a rainbow. Oh. So, what's blocking us? Our crown chakra. Okay, let's keep going and then we'll get a read on this. Immediate past, where have we been? 8 of Cups in our conscious mind. Moving on, 6 of Swords. Unconscious, subconscious. 8 of Wands. Wands. Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. I'll come back to that. Future challenges. home hearth environment. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's another siren going on. So, yeah, we've got a fire nearby. Just one of many. Okay, moving right along. Advice. Let's get some advice. Oh, nice. Thank you. And what's the possible outcome? Another major strength. You know. Sorry, I'm just taking a moment. Send it out. Send it out. They need us. They need us more than ever. So, speaking of needing us, strong. Taurus. Go. Go. Solid. Taurus is so solid, I would like to say. Definitely very grounded. Out of all the earth signs, Taurus is the most grounded, I think. So for you guys to be feeling a bit of discontent and a bit of boredom, there's obviously something going on, because in the immediate past you've moved forward. You've let that go. And I love this card because it's not the standard moving forward. It's letting things go into the ocean. It's handing them over to be washed clean, releasing them, letting them go. Letting them be washed away like footprints in the sand. I love that. And so your current energy is definitely one of moving forward. You've got the Ace of Cups, brand new beginning, emotional stability, and enough in your stores to give to others, to share. And so you've got, surrounding you, you've got 3 moving on cards. You've got the 8 of Cups, you've got the 6 of Swords, and the 8 of Pentacles, which are all moving forward cards. And then if you look at these two, now careful, the blocking card is the Crown Chakra. And the challenge, this is your current energy, and the challenge energy is a home and hearth. So you've got this block between your 2 rainbows. Now, I don't usually like to generalise, but it is well known and documented that the festive season can cause just a little bit of stress among families and households. So I think what this is telling us, if the Crown Chakra is blocking us, then we need to spend some time opening it up. Because with the I call it the silly season, we get bogged down in the 3D, in the who needs what and who's on the list and who's coming and where do we sit them and what do we cook and how many houses do we have to go to on the one day to keep everybody happy, and can I afford that, and what about the kids, and so-and-so's mother's sick, so we've got to go into... It gets messy and we forget to stay centered and to stay in a high vibration, to know that it's all working out perfectly. It might be, you know, a requirement to juggle our schedule or to change our plans rapidly, maybe without warning. But at the end of the day, it's not all that stuff that matters. It's who we are, it's what we do and how we do it and how we approach it and how we look at things. You know, as long as we're coming from a generous, loving place, we can't please everyone all the time. It's impossible. So we wind ourselves up and we forget to stay centered, forget to stay open and let the good stuff in. You know, we're very good at giving it out, but we sometimes forget to let it in. So that's this message. Let the good stuff in. And that will overcome the challenges that you might have coming into this. The advice is, again, balance. I love it. It's 11 quality. And it's in other decks, it's the Justice card. So, you know, all things fair and wonderful in the world. Just happens to be an angel too. So, you know, stay balanced. And all those tools are there. All the elements are there. And this card is saying, don't become overly one element or start lacking another one, because you have all of them to utilize, so utilize them. And then the outcome is power, which is strength. It's internal, external, balance, power. I love the meaning of this card. It's making friends with both sides of your personality and being able to use both sides equally when you need to. And it's back to here. It's not letting one overwhelm the other. It's not letting your fire side explode and rant and rave and, you know, blow up. Or becoming overly emotional or emotionally closed off. Or blowing all your money. It's, you know, or overthinking and overstressing. It's not those. It's staying very grounded, very balanced, but very open to what it's truly all about, and that is loving the ones you're with. Basically, including yourself, and most importantly yourself, loving the ones you're with, because, you know. Okay, so moving right along, I might do this as a little add-on, because it's pretty beautiful reading. I mean, really. I'm just going to ask, how can we open our crown chakra in order to sit in the beautiful Ace of Cups with our rainbow? And it's the heart chakra. I mean, look, two different decks, chakra and chakra, chakra and chakra. These two go so beautifully together. Quite often, I mean, I meditate. I never used to, but I've, you know, miraculously learned how with the assistance of some great people on YouTube. They quite often go together when you're aligning your chakras and you know, working together. The heart and the crown quite often go together in opening from the divine and being able to give that out. in order to heal yourself and others. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful combination. So maybe work on both of those. You know, do some healing meditations or work on aligning your chakras and staying grounded and centered and open coming up to this season, and that will help you, you know, come back to center. All right. Now, just bear with me. What advice have we got for Taurus this December? What advice have we got for Taurus this December? What advice for Taurus this December? No matter what you're going through, because Christmas can be a pretty lonely time of year for some people, and I always like to remember them. So whatever you're going through, if you are feeling alone, seek out ways to prove that you're not. Sorry, overload. The card that fell out, and I'll read the other one in a minute because it's got kind of like a moral to this story. The card that fell out is light. And it says, imagine yourself as being composed of energy and light. Because in reality, that's precisely what you are. You are a powerful being, and people are attracted to your brilliance. This is a time to remember how vibrant you truly are. That comes out. And I think it's a beautiful thing because it goes back to what I was saying. The more we stress and worry, the less ourselves we become and the less vibrant our energy is giving off. We're so worried about everybody else, we forget to be ourselves and give. So that's just saying let your light shine, baby, let your light shine on. But this one is a little moral to the story. I have in front of me a picture of my father. And we didn't have what you would call a very close father-daughter relationship for most of my life. And we became very close towards the end of his. And as I was talking about being alone and remembering that you're not alone, this card came out, and it's a father's love. A father's love for his son or daughter never dies. The strength gained from such love is often unquantifiable in that it can be tapped into at any time for whatever reason. Whether your father is still here or has passed, a father's love is one of the strongest bonds any of us will ever experience. Now, I might be getting off track, and if I'm losing you, that's okay. But coming up to Christmas, remember that you don't have to. Look, if you've had a really bad time with your father or your mother or whoever, you don't have to kiss and make up if you're not ready to, because trust me, you have to be ready to. You have to be okay in yourself in order to be ready to let that shit go. And you have to have worked on yourself in order to accept the fact that that other person is still that other person. You know, they might have changed but quite often they don't. And until you can accept them as that other person, even though they will never be what you needed them or wanted them to be, then nobody expects you to pretend. Don't ever pretend to be, forgiving and understanding if you are still feeling wounded, because that doesn't help anybody. But the thing I discovered, this is getting a bit personal really, the thing I discovered was that when Dad was alive and I was very, very young, he couldn't handle the fact that I was so spiritual. I was off with the fairies or in daydream land or not concentrating or, a quitter or never going to amount to anything. And so I shut down that part of me for many, 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 many years. And towards the end of his life, I had done a lot of work on myself, and so I was quite calm and okay that he was who he was, and it didn't affect me anymore because I was sure of myself and my worth. And so, it didn't bother me as much, and I could see him for who he was, which was, quite a lovely person who was very, very wounded and insecure themselves. We got very close at the end of his life, and the miracle of miracles is that my spirituality, I was welcoming it back before Dad's passing, but since his passing, he has been the one who has been most clear and helped me open back up to my gifts the most profoundly. So don't ever think you're alone. You're not. You're not ever alone. And all you have to do is ask. Ask for help. Ask for them to help you. And they will give you the gift of helping you. They will be there for you. You just have to let them. All right, my loves. Merry Christmas, if I don't talk to you before. And I hope you have a wonderful time. Put that workload down. Lie on the grass. Watch the clouds roll by for a little while. All right. Have a lovely time. Hugs and love. And as always, big kisses. Bye.